Drill the Fight 2 has a new damage system coming and they're clearing out ranks. That means your record is going to be 0-0-0 and a whole new damage system that's been tested over the last few months. And I've tried it myself, a lot of people have. It is hands down the best version of the game that they've released so far. So with that being said, let's focus on things that will make our first, second, third fight into that rank with the new damage system the best we've ever had. Make sure we know things about this new damage system to where whenever we go in it, we're not learning it live, we're learning it now. So when we go in there live, we're just knocking heads off. Because you know as well as I do, if you're in that VR boxing community, your record, your overall number, whatever rank you are in is a badge of honor and people wear it proudly. So let's make sure we get off to a good start. The first thing we're gonna go over is blocking. So many people have thought about blocking as in, this is more physical, and yes, they're right. I can shell up. The punches typically stop at my arms or my gloves. Yes, it's a lot more physical, yes, whenever I am shelling up and protecting, but it's a lot more physical too when I'm just interacting with the other person's gloves. So what I found a lot of success is almost like that John Jones measuring style. I have short little T-Rex arms, they don't go very far, but I can at least measure. If I can touch you with this one, then I can sure as hell touch you with this one. So on top of shelling up and being able to protect here a lot better, I can also engage with my opponent's gloves a lot better too. I can parry them a lot better. I can stick one glove in his face and almost lower that hand down. Even though it's virtual and I'm not lowering the hand down, the glove does interact. And what I notice is that even if I don't lower his glove down, he's reacting to it. So as I put my hand out, he at least is reacting to this by getting his head out the way or moving his hand out the way or whatever it is. So it's causing some sort of reaction. Not exactly the same as real life. You can see real life technique and how we have to change it for the VR world. Tip number 2 is use your feet. So many people, if you just step off the line a little bit, they're almost like a newborn baby. They just can't even adjust. And by the time they adjust for your first angle, you're already making another one because you're landing here and then you're moving. So something like this, if I throw a simple 1-2, angle off, my opponent's here, I'm here, I adjust, I'm hitting the angle, he's still facing that way. By the time he notices and corrects himself, which is like a half a second of time, then I'm already firing. So he adjusts, I fire. Once I'm done with my fire, guess what? I'm rolling. I created an angle, he's that way now. He's gonna have to adjust, you get my point? He'll be chasing me the whole fight. Tip number 3 is slow down. If I've learned anything, the most important thing is slow down. I'm not saying go 20%, don't do that, wrong. I'm saying go 70 to 90, not 110. So think of like a Nate Diaz style, where we're peppering. I'm touching 1-2, getting out the way, maybe right at the tips of my punches. Or if you're more a compact style, you're here and you're just kind of flowing in the pocket, not throwing too much when it comes to power. And I noticed that if I even have 70% of my force throwing a solid hook or a solid cross with my weight behind it versus throwing a fast hook or a fast overhand or just really wailing punches and really trying to get fire and speed out of it, not only does my accuracy go down and my chances of getting countered because I'm leaving myself open by throwing such looping punches to nobody, but it is exhausting. I mean, you've done it. Do 30 seconds of fast-paced shadowboxing. You're gassed at the end of it because if you truly do your best, it is exhausting. So number 1, focus on your blocking and be aware that it's a lot more physical when it comes to touching the gloves and just engaging with the gloves in general. Number 2, make sure your footwork is there. Small angles go a long way. You don't have to be on your bike the entire fight, but we can do small things. Even if you're not a footwork guy, maybe just moving around isn't where you are right now. So maybe I can start thinking, I still gotta move my head. Even if my feet aren't dancing around the whole fight, I still gotta at least micro movements, micro slip, rolling. I'm right here in the pocket. I can micro movement the whole fight. If you break it all down and you think about having small movements instead of the daunting task of cutting someone off, be in my stance, micro movements. Watch, small steps. Small step, small step, small step, small step, small step, small step. But the whole time, am I a sitting target? Nope. And any time I can counter and fire. But look at my small step, small step, small step, small step, small step. So we can still have a lot of movement without having to risk our cardio if that's not where we're at yet. Sure, I would love to say, go in the deep end, learn to swim. It's not how it is all the time though. We can get there eventually, but today maybe that's not how it is. Understand where you're at. You could be here where you're moving, switching stances, fishtailing the back leg, firing, and getting comfortable, but you could be here, tiny steps. Or you could be ready to move around, but it may just not be your style. And I like the micro steps. I like to stay here in the pocket. So with that new rank system getting scrapped and the new damage system coming back in, I hope this helps. I hope you find 1 or 2 things that you can at least take and plant the seed and let that branch off into something else, because that's just how it is. You learn one thing, you learn a jab, counters off of that jab. counters off of those counters. And each little branch too will become, well, what if he does this? Then here are some counters. What if he does that? And then here's some counters. It's endless, but it's so much fun to chase it because what works for you may only work for you. And if you practice something enough, it's gonna work for you. Good luck, subscribe, comment down below if you wanna see something maybe you're having trouble with getting hit by a right hand, or maybe you want the footwork drills broken down for an entire video. Let me know what you wanna see, and if you're not already subscribed, subscribe.